In Nebraska, the dark shadow of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs looms over university campuses, particularly at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the University of Nebraska at Omaha. These initiatives, purportedly designed to foster fairness, have instead been unmasked as a calculated strategy to disenfranchise white individuals, replacing them with others who have not secured their positions through merit, but rather through a manipulative exploitation of civil rights laws. Even though civil rights are a fraud in and of themselves, and they should be repealed for many reasons, including because these subversive laws can be selectively applied and enforced, and have been inequitably applied for purposes contrary to those they were supposedly intended to stop. However, for the sake of this narrative, we'll accept them for this discussion as they are applied today. DEI is fundamentally deceptive, using subversive tactics to condition one group to exploit and disadvantage another, all while persuading the latter to act in ways contrary to their own interests. Those behind these programs are not merely misguided. They are accused by many of engaging in practices that are outright criminal. The narrative of DEI in Nebraska's academic institutions is one of systemic manipulation and racial bias. Officially, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln has shuttered its Office of Diversity and Inclusion, dispersing its functions across various departments in what appears to be an attempt to camouflage the ongoing discrimination. This move is not a cessation but a rebranding, a continuation of a policy steeped in what some label as Marxist ideology, aimed at eroding the opportunities available to white students and faculty. At the University of Nebraska at Omaha, the DEI agenda persists through the Office of Diversity, Equity, Access, and Inclusion, DEI, which is nothing more than a center for perpetuating anti-white sentiment. Here, the ideology is said to thrive, undermining the meritocratic principles of higher education by prioritizing identity over competence, thus disadvantaging those not belonging to the favored groups. DEI, or as some have mockingly redefined it, dividing, excluding, interfering, or discriminatory, elitist, inequitable, is accused of fostering an environment where minorities, particularly those with an aversion to white individuals, hold sway. Even white individuals within these offices are often seen as naive or complicit, serving as mere tokens in a system that fundamentally despises them. The closure or renaming of DEI offices does not signify the end of these practices, but rather their transformation into more covert operations, hiding under new names like Multicultural Student Union or Office of Accessibility. These changes are strategic, designed to continue the scam of DEI without the overt branding that had begun to attract scrutiny. The DEI scam involves encouraging resentment by portraying certain races as inherently oppressive or oppressed, thus fracturing campus unity, manipulating hiring and admissions to favor specific groups often at the expense of qualified candidates from outside these groups, and using civil rights legislation to justify discriminatory practices, thereby contravening the very laws they claim to uphold. This subversion is seen not just as misguided policy, but as criminal activity, with DEI advocates accused of orchestrating a long-term strategy to slowly strip opportunities from white individuals. The legal implications are stark, with DEI practices running afoul of civil rights laws. DEI programs challenge civil rights protections by giving preferential treatment based on race or gender, constituting reverse discrimination. They undermine the 14th Amendment's guarantee of equal treatment under the law by favoring one group over another. And despite Title IX's aim to keep workplaces and educational environments free from discrimination, DEI initiatives are often perceived as promoting discrimination under the guise of diversity. The argument extends beyond civil law into the realm of criminal law, suggesting that those running these DEI programs engage in actions that could be prosecutable as fraud or conspiracy, defrauding institutions and individuals of their rights to equal opportunity. Despite these criticisms, DEI in Nebraska's universities continues, adapting its methods but not its core discriminatory goals. The recent scrutiny from national political leaders marks a potential turning point. But for now, the DEI machinery chugs along, with its proponents cleverly navigating around legal and public opinion obstacles to maintain their hold over academic life. The DEI agenda at Nebraska's universities, notably at Lincoln and Omaha, continues to be a polarizing matter, disguised with new names and frameworks but steadfast in its aim to marginalize white individuals under the banner of equity. It is imperative for the justice system to launch thorough investigations into these practices, pushing for the complete disbandment of all DEI organizations and the legal pursuit of those who have, through these schemes, perpetrated acts that violate the core tenets of fairness and equality in education.